Gemini, hi. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome to April. I hope that 2022 so far has been serving you really, really well. Let's talk about the astrology before we get into the reading. If you would be interested in booking a reading, take a look at the website rubyreadstarot.com. Details are in the description box and pinned in the comments. Also, details of where you can leave me a donation if you should wish to. Thank you so much. It's always greatly appreciated. On the 5th of April, Venus, the planet of love, finances, beauty, moves into fun-loving, free-flowing sign of Pisces. Now, after being in fixed intellect, fixed air sign, moving into Pisces, where it really actually quite likes being, there's something about sepia tones, daffodils and tulips, life imitating art, life feeling like a movie. It's all in the eye of the beholder. Do you see what I mean? Like, life could be so beautiful when Venus is in Pisces, and it's all about channeling into your inner mutable energy, which is all about just going with the flow, right? Things might come to a close, things might kind of just phase out, and I think you'll be really okay with it. Trust it. Whatever happens right now, just really trust it. So on the 10th, Mercury, the planet of communication, enters the sign of Taurus, where there's a seriousness to this transit. It's about making future plans. It's about money. It's about investments. It's about even sex and sensuality, right? So there's this element of accumulating, collecting, gathering, and the practicality that goes into being able to facilitate that. So it is a lot to do with logistics, right? But it's all in the accumulation, okay? And this could be accumulation of relationships, of, positive energy, or even like ridding yourself of debts and accumulation of freeing up energy. So on the 14th, Mars, the planet of war, moves into the fun-loving hippie sign of Pisces, where it joins Venus, and they do this sort of come together and move forward, which is it's so completing within us, because it gives us a really balanced, synchronized yin and yang feeling within ourselves, and there is a completeness in this transit while they move together in the sign of Pisces. And it kind of resonates out into our interpersonal relationships too. So either, say, with your partner, there might be a feeling of real completeness and purpose and meaning and belongingness. And even individually speaking, there might be a feeling of coming whole circle. On the 16th, there is the full moon in the sign of Libra. And this is one to really kind of find a harmonious way of balancing things out in our lives, bringing harmony and equilibrium into the equation, and seeing where it is that we can kind of, roughen out any edges and stay in the middle. I think it's a good one for this full moon. No extremes with this one. The sun moves into Taurus on the 19th. And it gets very sensual, it gets very practical. It's about the senses, food, sex, shopping, money, all of the gorgeous, yummy things. As Mercury moves into its home sign, Gemini, on the 29th, things begin to get really delicious, and you can begin to pick up on the momentum of how things are beginning to really feel like they're going your way. Gemini, after a period of perhaps having to go into these dubious tangents and misdirections, all referring back to this point where Mercury makes it home, and it gets really delicious, okay? Because business works out, problems kind of iron themselves out, and with the new moon solar eclipse taking place on the 30th, it's almost like a release point. And before we get into the cards, there was this one point that I really wanted to talk to you about. I think this was specifically channeled for a particular Gemini. I don't know who you are, but leave me a comment and let me know if this is your message. So I want you to imagine cloth or a garment, say for instance trousers, perhaps with a crease, an ironed crease in the front of the trouser. Now, you got to really apply a lot of pressure and heat to the cloth, you know, to get the crease to stay so that it'll hold the shape. I need you to think about, you know, and after a while, with all of the pressure and the heat, it kind of reconfigures and remolds the structure of the fabric to really set in permanence the crease, right? And enough pressure, enough heat can do that. So much so to the point where if you ever try to iron it out again, the crease would always remain. I guess you could probably do a really, really good job of ironing it out and trying to iron it out, but at some point the residual pressure of the crease would always remain. And so I use this analogy almost as like where it is in your life, and I say this because as Mercury does move into your sign, there's going to need to be an element of you kind of figuring out where these creases have been pressed into your subconscious about yourself, and how it is now with Venus and both Mars moving into free-flowing, mutable sign of completion, right? Completion, surrender, and illumination, and sending it to light. Where it is now that the creases may have been pressed out by healing, by real trauma healing, but it's almost as if like, okay, that the element of that is always still going to be rendered. Can I accept that? I think when we start accepting certain things that have happened in our lives, and when we try and make amends, they get better. And it's kind of okay that they're there, as long as they're not there now, currently, presently. And I think as we come into Sun in Aries, where it is very cardinal, very head first, you kind of have to move beyond the presence of the creases. It's almost now going like, okay, it's okay. That happened. It's okay. There's more to the story. So, Oracles and Tarot. I've got the Chakra Wisdom Oracle, the Psychic by John Holland, and the Rider Waite. Of course, just knocked my quartz there. There is this really powerful new moon, solar eclipse, end of April. And I think you are going to feel like Gemini, the momentum, the energy that has been kind of building up around you in forms of synchronicities, numbers, I don't know, funny things, where the Matrix may have even felt like it was glitching at some point. There's almost like a, hey, this is why that was going on. And a lot of us right now have been asked to really fix in place where we're going with ourselves, our inner projection of selves, and what we're now projecting into reality. And so Gemini, I guess when we're kind of pressed coming away from kinks, you know, and I want you to think of this metaphorically. Guilt. I knew there was something bubbling under the surface. I knew it, I knew it, I knew it. Gemini, there is guilt attached to service, the service of others, relationships, jobs perhaps, I don't know. I feel as if you are enabling some real bad behavior around you. And I think there is guilt because you want to do more, or you may have been gaslit into thinking that you have to do more. And it's almost like, okay, you have to step away from the roles where you kind of let sacrifice and accept less because of those very same kinks that I was giving you an analogy of, that are kind of like metaphorically imprints in your mind. I hope you follow me. Perseverance. Gemini, there is a need for you to move beyond guilt associated to something, someone, a situation, and persevere in a direction of some sort of liberation. Because whatever's been blocking you, that's impasse, whatever's been blocking you, it may even be your guilt. It may be some shame. It may have something to do with what you were taught when you were a child. It may have something to do that has been hindering you your whole life. It may have something to do with you not allowing yourself something because of something that you unfortunately had to experience. But the trauma, for some reason, is still subconsciously like I don't know, what's the word, the ants that eat wood, like a termite. It's kind of just, you have to persevere, okay? If you're overcoming something, you have to persevere in the story of whatever you're overcoming. I'm really channeling in for someone right now, and it was 11:33 when I said that, so I know that that's for someone in particular. Okay, this fell into my lap, and that says prayer, and prayer I know has the power to change everything. And there's lemons, and there's also lemonade. Okay, and if you look, there's almost a vision that sets between both. One is of a city landscape, and the other is of a greenery. What you think, you create. Okay, Gemini, that's what we're getting to. Service at the bottom of the deck. It's what you're doing in the world. If you feel like you've been blocked, you need to retrace your mind where there has been a guilt program that needs overriding, and you must persevere in overcoming this guilt, and prayer might be the trick to it. And I feel as if the service that you provide the world is going to greatly benefit once you overcome this thing. You have to retrace your steps somewhere, Gemini. I would really strongly suggest that you book a reading, Rubyreadstarot.com, and we can consult the tarot together. Gemini, take a deep breath in for me. I feel like we're really uncovering something here. My channeling has become so much stronger this year. I feel it getting so strong. If it is your story, if this is you I'm talking to, please let me know. Leave me a comment, please. So, that is the truth. April brings with it the truth of something that you have been weighing out in your mind for the longest time. Something that you knew, like you were suspicious of this. You knew something was up. You knew something was not right. I think it has something to do with whatever was blocking your way and whatever had you feeling guilty, whatever this gaslighting was, whatever it was, something, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. And then the next card is Love Begins, that the Ace of Cups. I feel like there may even be a new beginning in love. You might meet someone who is the truth. You might meet someone who is your justice. You might meet someone who is the other side of the scale. You might meet someone who you know is the other part of your soul. And I think April might have you transformation. La 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 la. That's the death card, Scorpio energy. I feel like you are transmuting something, Gemini. I really feel like you're the pressure that had been applied in applying this crease to serve some narrative has been ironed out enough for you to understand that a transformation has taken place here, and patience and planning. And so April, you are erecting pillars Card number 7, patience and planning. Gemini, think about where you're going. 6-year plan. I don't know, freaking 1 month plan even. 1 month plan. Look at the bottom of the deck that says fulfillment of wishes. So it's a lucky month, and you know that a lot of things will be happening right now in regards to the way that you give service, your love life, your personal transformation. Like I said, Venus and Mars in Pisces, this is good news, especially for a Mercurial, immutable even. Okay, count to 3 for me and tap on the table in front of you. Let's get some messages for Gemini. April 2022. Clarity and truth. Clarity and truth. That's the Ace of Swords. You're going to have a lot to kind of sift through in regards to your truth and regards to what resonates with you and what no longer does, and how empowered you feel about speaking with full conviction about where you're going next and what's available for you to conquer and achieve, and how much gusto and bravery and sharpness and finesse are you going to carry that off with. Because, and the saying was saying, like, I heard this saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, and that's the 9 of Wands. So, the creature comforts that you surround yourself with that are giving you all of the security right now, you've worked your ass off for, and so don't undervalue yourself, especially in love, or especially in the way that you love yourself. Queen of Swords, Gemini. There's going to be a real cutting edge truth to you and a real sharpness and assertiveness. This is intellect mixed with empathy. So you're really illuminating. And I feel like Mercury going home, basically, is going to make you feel like a teenager again. And there are invitations that are being made to you. And Gemini, you're in a really good place to receive them. Or either you're making these invitations, and I do feel like they have every ounce of romance and love and longevity in love to do with them. Because the Ace of Swords underneath the Truth card, and then the 3 of Swords, we're all, hello. Okay, listen. Pisces, listen. Gemini, I'm just going to sum this whole reading up right now, and I'm going to be so real, and I'm going to be so raw with you. 2022 has been a wild shit show, astrologically, for the most part. There's so much people are conquering and healing and overcoming, that let's shift that perspective of, hey, this is a wild shit show, into, hey, oh my god, there has been so much cleaning, cleansing, healing, deep-seated, like, a realignment with our own personal, authentic truth. And you know what that all results in? The Ace of Pentacles. So, you know what? Flush. Okay? Flush. Pull the swords out, flush the wounds, mend those holes, fill your heart up right to the brim again. The minute your confidence is back, the money is booming, baby. Love begins, and there's a truth, and there is also perseverance. But the key to all of this transformation and the fulfillment of wishes, I love that, is prayer, okay? It's really about praying to God and just remaining in the power that your prayers are being heard, because you're a good person and you're doing right. And so do right. I think that's all I have for you, Gemini. If you enjoyed the reading, do give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Let me know if this was your reading and where you're at. I would really love to connect with you, Gemini, and let me know. Okay, book a reading, Rubyreadstarot.com. Mwah! I love you. Bye.